volunteers in Bangkok, Thailand held a recycled items fashion show. Dive into the world of foreign rubbish as we learn more about the problems they are causing. Selamat datang ke Headline, saya Simon Gan. Terima kasih menyertai sesi berita kita. 2020 is Tzu Chi's 30th year of promoting the recycling mission. And to celebrate this occasion, Tzu volunteers in Bangkok, Thailand held a fashion show where the designs are all made from recycled materials.
What was originally supposed to be thrown away, the plastic bottle can be turned into a pot to hold flowers. Unworn clothing can be cut and tied together to make an eco-shopping bag. A broken umbrella can even be turned into a reusable bag.
These are all resources, not waste. It's just been left in the wrong places, that's all.
Creativity inspires one another. Thailand's Tzu Chi volunteers put on a fashion show using recycled materials.
These are all plastic bags which held books. It's bigger, so I made tops and skirts out of them. I also cut it out with slimming shapes, and it flares out when walking, so it looks nice. The leftover fabric, I made flowers out of them.
I hope more people can understand that items we or someone else might not think is worth anything can be reused just by using a little bit of care. Like this reusable bag, it's pretty and durable.
Tzu Chi's recycling mission began in Taiwan and has now spread globally. Thailand's Tzu Chi volunteers celebrates the 30th anniversary of the mission with their hard work and dedication.
In Thailand, a Buddhist temple recycles plastic bottles and turns them into ropes due to a visit to Tzu Chi. Let's take a look at this connection. The amount of marine waste around Thailand ranks number 6 in the world. In the beginning, we burned the plastic waste, but that was causing air pollution. We didn't know what to do. Thankfully, we found a way to treat the plastic. The plastic bottles are first shredded, then turned into fibers. After adding cotton fibers and color, it is then turned into fabric and sent back to the temple to be made into a robe. These monk robes from plastic bottles isn't hard to wear like our traditional monk robes. These have cotton blends and zinc oxide nanoparticles added to help reduce heat. Ten years ago, I had a chance to visit Tzu Chi in Taiwan, and I participated in a recycling activity. I saw they had clothes made from recyclables, and I said I wanted to make monk robes out of recycled plastic bottles. In Malacca, Malaysia, Hugh Wei Hong, who was once a scholarship recipient, has turned into a volunteer, following volunteers to home visitations and caring for the families in need. After his father's passing back in 2018, he has followed his father's footsteps in continuing the spirit of volunteerism. Looking through the list of scholarship recipients while caring for the care recipients, Hugh Wei Hong followed other Tzu Chi volunteers to care for the families in need.
I need to write a report after the house visitations, recording those who have dialysis. Seeing these families who have lived a hard life makes me want to help them while I can.
Actually, Hugh Wei Hong was once a Tzu Chi scholarship recipient, and Tzu Chi also helped his father, Hugh Chu San, who is also a dialysis patient.
We accompany this kid along the path to adulthood. We provided love and care, which filled us the gap in his heart.
To reciprocate Tzu Chi's assistance, Hugh Chu San collects recyclables every day before his passing back in 2018. With volunteers' guidance and his father's teachings, Hugh Wei Hong has learned and has kept them in his heart.
He had dialysis for 11 years before he passed away. It has been 3 years since his passing.
He has grown up now and has to take good care of himself. He also has to go and care for others. So we hope that by accompanying him, he will have a more stable and right life.
Regardless of recycling or house visitations, Hugh Wei Hong's every footstep has already followed the path of Tzu Chi. Also in Malacca, a single mother, Wee Ti Sheng, takes care of her 3 children on her own. Her youngest son has autism as volunteers slowly guide him to a normal life. Volunteers and the mother witness the growth of the child. The mother can now finally face the future with an open heart.
Every word in the notebook is like as if it was printed out. Wei De-sheng's son happily shows volunteers his homework book. It's hard to imagine in the past he was afraid of talking to people.
不简单啊，不容易走啊，这条路。
看到你的心酸，而且现在也看到你的那种释怀。
Of living among the economies of the world, ranking highly in per capita.
Single mother Wei De-sheng provides income for the household. She takes care of 3 children, and though it's tiring, she insists on teaching her son ways to live independently.
Like those days I was sick and he cooked noodles for himself. When I go to do recycling, volunteers ask him if he's going home already, but he says he can't because mom says time is not up yet.
这个对你好吗？好。
你看笑。
师姑怎么样对你好？
有爱师姑吗？
有。
有多爱？
很多爱。
It's hard to take care of autistic children. For 10 years, Tzu Chi volunteers in Malacca have given care to this household, building a family-like relationship.
因为现在你感觉到你。
Because now you feel like the volunteers are friends, so I can talk about anything.
不会说的时候有一个笔记这样子啊。
安慰咯，一个自闭的孩子。
I think it's a sense of comfort to see an autistic child grow up to independence, looking like a normal child. The mother's hardworking nature and strong will is a valuable lesson for all of us volunteers to learn from.
在学校虽然是人家讲我笨是笨。
At school, although people call him stupid, but in front of his mother, he's smarter.
Under volunteers' care and visits, they've become a shield for the family, hoping that they can walk along the smoother path in the future.
只要他平安。
In Vietnam, under the government's social distancing policy, the crowd capacity for indoor activities is 30 people. Therefore, the auspicious blessing ceremony is only attended by Tzu Chi volunteers. Here's more.
In Traveling Province, the blessing ceremony for a auspicious month was held for the first time. The volunteers rehearsed in advance. The site was simply arranged, but their hearts were still sincere.
Since childhood, our ancestors told us that the 7th lunar month is the ghost month. Everything should not be done. But after joining Tzu Chi, I learned that this month is an auspicious month, a happy month and a good time for everyone.
Due to the severe epidemic in July, the Vietnam's government again initiated the social distancing policy. Indoor gatherings of no more than 30 people are small and solemn. Promoting vegetarianism becomes crucial.
If there are animals that have to sacrifice their lives because of our eating desires, how would this be for those who study Buddhism? So we should listen to Master's advice, keep the precepts, be vegetarian, and be compassionate.
In Ho Chi Minh City, the blessing ceremony was merged with the volunteers' learning class. Everyone wrote down the blessing cards and vowed to bring more people to become vegetarian.
The master urges not to kill. Being vegetarian to protect life should save the earth, and it also keep the body healthy and reduce illness. I'm very happy to participate in today's event.
Those who are already vegetarians need to invite their families and friends to join in on protecting the earth.
With pious and kind thoughts, everyone prayed for the end of epidemic and the endings of all disasters in the world.
Foreign rubbish has been the trend of the world for decades. However, when China decided not to import this foreign rubbish, it has set off a chain reaction, impacting many mid to low income countries. Follow a report as we learn more about foreign rubbish. One little truck carrying the waste cartons in Chinatown. This is the lady's only equipment in feeding her family.
After buying this truck, I realized that collecting these cartons do not earn much. If I do not collect, then the vehicle is wasted. They are not worth that much anymore. All the small recycling companies do not buy them now. Only one waste yard is buying them.
In San Francisco, this couple collects recyclables in every street and alley, and then selling them to the recycling station. In 2018, everything changed. In China, the government banned the import on 24 types of waste materials, and the reason for the ban is that these rubbish are not clean.
For example, I wish to import waste paper. After importing the waste paper that I bought, I noticed that there are plastics, hemp rope, bricks, or stones mixed inside. These items are not what I paid for.
To be clean at the source, why do all these resources turn into rubbish eventually? You can see that this carton is soaked and this PET bottle still has salad oil in it. Can they be reused?
The problem lies here. Advanced countries do not practice sorting rubbish, and when China refused to import these unsorted rubbishes, the butterfly effect occurs, causing the degradation of the recycling industry chain. When the US market was at its highest, 1 ton of waste paper is valued around 2,700 NT, and in 2018, they become almost worthless. Although the price now has increased, but it will never be as high as before.
Municipalities today are, in most cases, paying us a fee to perform the recycling service for them because the value of the material isn't the same as it was 2 years ago.
For the past few decades, China has been importing half of the global trash. Since 1992, they have already imported 106 million tons of plastic waste, which accounts for 45.1% of the total import. Since China shut its doors, piles of rubbish have already accumulated in the US.
We have a lot of surplus that's building up in our warehouses, at waste handling facilities, and we're, frantically trying to find new markets to handle these materials.
This enormous industrial chain has been working for years. The cost to process trash in advanced countries is around 30,000 NT. However, in the past, the shipment fee to China is just 1,200 NT. After importing with such low cost, these traders will then resell it to other stages, earning profit in every stage.
These required materials will end up where the recycle waste company profits the most, or where they can save the most cost. The benefit might be the most profit or the most cost saved. At the same time, coincidentally, there's another country that needs these required materials. An industrial chain is then born.
Just imagine that the world is an enormous waste treatment system. When the trash in the system is stuck and cannot be processed, they'll eventually end up in the mid to low income countries, and Malaysia is one of them.
I think that sometimes it's all about experience. The original law did not expect the situation to be this complicated, so they did not set laws on how to process or ways to handle the situation. Therefore, laws need to be amended, or the structural process must make adjustments.
If a country increases the inspection standards of waste products, making multiple and thorough inspections before and after shipping them, only then can we stop this foreign rubbish. It all depends on the will of the importing country to carry out these actions.
To process this waste overseas or to process it natively, which will reduce more carbon footprint. Experts say that it depends on local conditions.
And so certain countries have, perform or have skills and equipment in certain areas of the economy. I think it just depends on the context. There isn't a simple answer to that. Of course, what we say with the new plastics economy is that design is very important.
Taiwan has also benefited from the shifts of the plates in the waste industrial chain.
For the past 20 to 30 years, Taiwan is considered one of the best when it comes to recycling. Most citizens are very used to recycling or reusing waste products. To sum it up, Taiwanese are already very used to practicing recycling.
Many countries are still not capable of processing overseas rubbish, not to mention recycling. The Philippines, Thailand, Malaysia, Vietnam have all banned importing rubbish from other countries. In the post-pandemic era, more variables have appeared, such as the shutdown of the shipping industry and the low level of international trades. The waste process industrial chain, which has been operating for the past few decades, is also facing a reshuffle. In the end, it all depends on us. How do we reduce our daily rubbish output? This might be the most efficient answer to this problem. Not only Tzu Chi volunteers guide local residents to do recycling, some residents have motivated themselves to do so already. Like the 71-year-old senior living in New Taipei City's Yonghe district, Pengling Yingmei has been doing recycling since 20 years ago. In recent years, cleaning teams have started to collect recyclables. This made Pengling Yingmei continue to sort recyclables with the purpose of reducing the load of their workers. Let's take a look at how she does it.
Riding the motorcycle while carrying bags of items, 71-year-old Pengling Yingmei constantly does this act of carrying recyclables to Tzu Chi volunteers.
I bring this to Mother Tu, who is a volunteer at Tzu Chi. I thought I'd bring this to Tzu Chi so everyone can recycle this.
Besides sending in recyclables during daytime, her true involvement with recycling begins at night when the garbage truck arrives.
When the garbage truck comes out, she follows the trucks and picks the recyclables. She also helps others dump garbage. So the neighbor usually gives the recyclables to her, and she collects more over time.
Bending down and categorizing the locally sent recyclables seriously, Pengling Yingmei has been doing this job for years. Originally, neighbors have thought that she relies on recycling for an income, but actually she just wanted to reduce waste and cleanse the environment.
When I started doing recycling, I would just pick a whole bag and give it to sanitation workers. But after thinking it through, if we break down the cardboard boxes and wash the milk containers, there wouldn't be smells. If categorized correctly, it would be easier to manage for them.
She usually does it this way over her dining hours. Sometimes she even skips eating. And I ask her how she manages hunger. She tells me that she doesn't have time to eat. She is very enduring, giving, and cherishes materials. Every item is treasured and should be picked up.
People say they're sacrificing enjoyment and enjoy the sacrifices. This is to better our earth for our next generation. If we do the right thing, the people coming after may have a better place to be, right? If everyone joins in on this, it would be less tiring.
The kind thought is to leave a better environment for the next generation. Pengling Yingmei becomes the role model for her community through consistent recycling. Here's to hope more people join her on the act of kindness.
In Malaysia, a Tima doctor, Ng Guat Kiat, started practicing doing recycling at her own dental clinic. She then encouraged 4 other clinics to also practice doing recycling. Here's more. Inside these boxes are recyclable items which have been sorted out. Ng Guat Kiat's dental clinic is almost like a recycling spot.
Boxes, plastic bags, bottles, aluminum cans, and papers. We will sort it out after the boxes are full and then send it to the recycling station.
At the beginning, I was not used to doing recycling because I have never done it before. After I started working here, I was influenced by Dr. N. Slowly, I learned how to do recycling work.
Back in 2002, Ng Guat Kiat became a Timar doctor in Malacca, helping out impoverished families. After that, she even encouraged other doctors to practice doing recycling. Until today, she has already encouraged 4 dental clinics to practice doing recycling.
I saw a lot of videos on global pollution in city activities. I started to notice the climate has also been changing, so I started recycling. I feel that action speaks louder than words. Other people will follow when they see what you've done.
Another clinic doctor, Lim Li Wei, who was also affected by Dr. Ng's actions, has started to practice recycling at her clinic since its opening in 2017.
It's very good. I know that they're very busy, but they have the thought to carry out recycling, which is very good.
I was influenced by Dr. Ng's actions. If we do not practice recycling, then many resources will be wasted. If these papers are recycled, we can also reduce the number of trees that need to be chopped down. Since the opening of this clinic, we have just been doing what we can. It's better than not doing anything.
Dr. N said that every person's little effort will definitely help the earth.
Understanding our own value and putting our efforts into good use, every pair of hands can also be turned into recycling hands.
I hope that other clinics can also start practicing recycling, whether it's simple recycling or advanced recycling, because the earth is our only home.
Some men begin to find that after the age of 30, the volume of hair is starting to reduce gradually. The hairline on the forehead begins to move back, and for the rest of their lives, they'll be troubled by the problem of baldness. Therefore, there are many secret remedies in the market to increase hair volume, such as applying ginger to the scalp. Is it really effective? Let's hear what the experts have to say.
Mr. Fan, who is only in his 30s, has been plagued by hair loss for many years. Relatives and friends have introduced various ways for hair growth to him, yet they are all unsuccessful.
This bald part has been affecting me for many years. Many relatives and friends of mine have introduced various secret recipes, which can stimulate hair growth to me.
The popular recipes for hair growth include applying ginger, alcohol, green oil, chili, etc. The most commonly heard is that applying ginger to the scalp to promote hair growth. Is this method safe and effective?
If you apply ginger directly on your scalp, beware of contacting dermatitis. Also, some scholars in China have done some experiments on living mice and found that if applying ginger directly on the surface of its body, there's a suppressive effect on hair growth instead.
There are different reasons for the symptoms of hair thinning. Take the most common seen male baldness as an example. In addition to observing the distribution of the hairline, it is necessary to undergo relevant examinations so as to prescribe the right treatment.
For example, is there anemia or any zinc or iron deficiency? Is there an autoimmune problem or a thyroid hormone problem? In fact, the patient has to take blood tests first. If he confirms that he doesn't have such problems, then we need to match his actual status with his family history.
Atrophy or blockage of hair follicles can cause hair loss, but the treatment is different. The doctor reminds people to be cautious when using secret remedies. All in all, the earlier to receive the treatment, the lower the death rate of hair follicle atrophy, and the chance of improving the problem of hair loss will be higher.
In Tzu Chi, China, Tzu Chi volunteers head into markets and invite the vendors to participate in the plastic reduction campaign. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you and goodbye.